This is all of our boot accessories that we've slowly developed over like the last 4 years as we've done more and more boot reviews and realized how many things are missing in the market. So be sure to check out all these below. They make great gifts, self-gifts, and it's a huge way that you can help support the channel. So check them out below.
I forgot how ridiculous my facial hair is right now.
You're great. What are you talking about?
Did you ever listen to AFI?
Like a fire inside?
What?
A fire
Oh,
inside?
no, that is good though. Actually, is that what AFI stands for?
Yeah.
I was thinking Alexis on Fire.
AFI, like the punk band?
Yeah.
It's a fire inside.
Oh, wow. I used to
listen to that like in high school.
That's what I was saying.
For sure, yeah.
Have you seen what Davey looks like recently?
No.
I'll show you.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, that fits.
We'll show the people.
That fits.
It's so funny. Like, you know, this is what I thought Davey looked like. And then I saw on TikTok one day, it's like Davey had a transformation. And I was like, that looks so sick. I need some Jedi braids.
Dude, that's awesome.
Big old mustache.
Oh, man. Yeah, I used to listen to a lot of AFI.
AFI's good.
It's really good. I know. Well, yeah. The women in your life may not appreciate it as much.
They rarely do.
Yeah.
They rarely enjoy any of the music that I show them. Like, I was dating a girl once, and she's like, oh, like, one of my favorite things to do is, like, do Spotify share, like, shuffle, whatever, where it's, like, it pulls, like, half the songs from her and half the songs from me, and it was just, like, every time it was just, like, and it starts in my toes, makes me wrinkle my neck, and it's like, it's like chaos. And
you almost have to have 2 Spotify accounts, man.
And this girl was like, oh, this didn't quite work out how I wanted it to. And I was like, I'm sorry. My bad. We have very different tastes in music.
That's who we are.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely.
But anyway, Shuyler's in town.
Thanks for having me, man.
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
First time to Salt Lake since we started working together, right?
Yeah, first time here. I haven't been to Salt Lake in probably, 5 years probably. Yeah.
And there's nothing going on in the footwear industry in town that
I'm wondering who is reaching out to you.
Ryan from Merrimack was like, hey, I'm in town.
Oh, interesting.
I was like, maybe there's something else going on.
We should hang out.
Hit him up. I think he hit me up about Wednesday.
Okay.
So shout out Ryan from Merrimack.
Yeah.
Are you in town for this only, or you got something else going on? You going some skiing?
No, it's all work. I've got like an agency that we work with that's based here. They're normally in Europe, but they are based, anyways, long story. But they're here in town, and I was like, okay, we're gonna do something new together. And I was like, okay, let's meet face to face.
Yeah.
You know how that is?
I prefer it over anything and everything. Like I hate FaceTimes. I hate all that stuff. Like face to face is preferred.
And it's interesting. You learn a lot. And I'm like, man, he's way younger than I thought he was, which is not a bad thing. It's just like, it's just like you get a little more context for kind of who you're working with. And
you can actually, I feel like you can only connect so much over like a phone call or a FaceTime, but being person to person, that's where I feel like you get that soul connection where you're like, oh, I'm looking into your eyes.
I can trust
you. Yeah, and you get an actual read off somebody.
Or I can't.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's cool. You've been up to the shop twice, I think.
Yep, 2 or 3 times, I think.
Passing through, usually doing some hunting or fishing.
Right, yeah, bear hunting up in there in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, that's right. Did you ever get one?
No, I'm like the worst bear hunter of all time. People always get so mad, too. They're like, who is this guy killing bears? I can't believe this is so unethical. I'm like, I've never killed a bear. I've been bear hunting for 10 years, and I've yet to kill a bear. I promise, I am not the guy you should be mad at.
What's like the hardest tag to get? Is it like a moose, probably?
There's like limited entry, and there's like once in a lifetime tags where it takes like 25 years. Like a couple of my employees they put in together and drew an elk tag in, I think it was the Beaver Mountains, which was like, it takes like 20 years to draw that tag, and they both just drew it randomly. And they got like both really big bulls. We did like a big video on it. It was pretty cool. But like maybe the hardest one would be like, or at least in Utah, it's probably like Henry Mountain deer tag or like Pavant elk, where it takes like 25 years plus as like maxed out points. And stuff.
I mean, I've never heard of those animals, so it sounds like there's probably not so many of them.
Well, it's fun too because you have your general season tag where you go out and when I was a kid, it was a lot easier to get a deer. Now it's tough because there's just so many people. But with those limited entry and those once in a lifetime hunts, you're pretty much guaranteed to get something because there's so few tags.
Okay.
But what are we talking about hunting for?
When you were up and visiting me,
that's right.
Usually hunting.
We didn't have much for you to visit until we got into the new shop, and now it's a little bit more of a destination.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, man. It's like
thanks.
I know we've talked in the past, and you've said, like I want to have like a place where I can build a lot of different things.
Right.
And it certainly seems like that's the case here.
We're building it slowly.
He's got better machines than I do, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, that new Comel's cutter is so sweet. I've wanted that machine for like 10 years. Cause I like we were talking about just off the camera. It's like I'm not into this whole thing for like the YouTube and like the fame and like making content. I just want to make stuff. And so for me, all this is kind of a means to an end to get that kind of piece of equipment. Because my dream is just like I just want to like not talk to anyone for like 3 days and just hop on a computer and like make a pattern, cut it out, test it, cut it again, draw on it. Like I just like that iterative like design process. And that new machine is like the ultimate making machine.
Yeah, no. I mean, we
hyped about it.
The fact that you don't have to have dies seems really convenient.
Yeah,
Dies are expensive. They take up a ton of room. You know, they break.
Especially like wallet dies because of all those little punches. Because like how much is a die? Because for these kind of dies on something like this, it's a pretty affordable die because you're not doing any punches.
It's not
right?
a ton. I mean, I think it's like $40 to $50. It kind of depends. We get them from Texas, I think.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, the problem is they break. You have to sharpen them. Like that's actually what I would say the biggest thing. And so like Wicked and Craig, for example, it's a super grainy, kind of long fibers. And so like if you're not real sharp on that, you know, sometimes you get a little tuft sticking up here, you know, and
especially like in the corners.
So I just feel like the way you're doing it, I think it's the future for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited about the machine. That's because for me, I'm like, okay, can I make a suit of armor now? Like,
well, is it a laser or is it carbide?
It's that carbide tip, the oscillating knife.
Okay, I mean, can it? So it's funny. So like I went down pretty far down the road on one of those things, but I was talking to Lund.
Okay.
Now Lund is like higher end than Comels, but they specialize in stuff for like aircraft parts like aircraft prototyping and that sort of thing. Ultimately, it was kind of too expensive. But the Comels would be a better fit for what we're doing. But I mean, you know, if you wanted to upgrade, I think you could have your own, maybe aluminum armor. I don't know.
That's honestly like because that's the problem with that machine is it only cuts soft goods. It doesn't cut like hard materials yet, or I don't have anything that cuts hard materials. That's kind of like the final like CNC machine. It's like get something that cuts metal and because the laser will cut wood. It's just like a little bit weird. So one day it'll be the ultimate making space.
It's already on its way for sure.
Well, the real reason you're here is not necessarily just to talk about these. There's another project that I'm not sure how much we can tease and how much we can't.
Well, I mean, let's focus on the tankers for now, and then because that'll be coming out in a few months.
Because Shuyler showed me a little project that I think is going to be pretty cool. I think people are going to be hyped about it.
I think they're going to be hyped. I think it's going to create some waves.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
And we're recording that unboxing right after this one, but you won't be able to see it until we're getting closer to launch.
Yeah, we want to make sure everything's right.
Because it's still an early-ish prototype, right?
It's
or like not a fully finished
we're almost there. I want to get the full run and make sure they're perfect.
Yeah. They're good. I'm extremely excited about them.
No, I appreciate it. You know, I mean, honestly, like I told you back there, you're one of the reasons why we did it. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later.
But for now, I just wanted to. While you're in town, I was like, let's just talk about the tanker boots because I only know so much about the history, and I think this launch is gonna be so cool with the blood core, with the alien blood core, because
is it alien blood core? Or
we're calling it. I think the technical term would be like alien blood core.
Okay,
we're like calling it blood or alien core.
Like Alien the movie.
I think unofficially. Unofficially.
Unofficially. All right, sorry. Okay.
Just the regular alien with the big head, maybe a xenomorph. I don't know.
No, definitely not a xenomorph. Something we came up with.
Actually, you know what's interesting is I don't think Naked and Famous be upset about this in any way, but like I didn't realize you could just buy the rights to certain movies and certain like.
Interesting.
Like, because they did their Godzilla line of denim where they had like a King Ghidorah one with like gold in it. They had like a Godzilla one.
I'm familiar with that. I didn't put two and two together there. That's interesting.
And like I don't even think it was that much money. I think it was like $5 or $10 grand for the rights to do that.
Interesting.
And there's like a big convention in Vegas once a year where like all these people that have the IP have a show and they're like, oh, who wants to buy our IP to sell your products? And it was like shockingly cheap.
Interesting.
And if we were bigger and had more, for sure, push with that, I'd like that would be the way to do it. But for now, it's unofficially has nothing to do with the Alien franchise.
We'll see after Vegas, maybe it'll change.
But yeah, I was like, that'd be a cool, like way to launch products is if you have like the ability to really pay for that kind of franchising or what would you call it like?
It's a license probably.
Yeah, a license.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
sick.
You can get the license to Twister.
I think for them, I'm sure they were like, we should probably do something about this. But I had like the receipts to them like buying my hardware, and I think we towed the line just enough in that video because like I knew. Like that whole video, people are like, "Oh, this is clearly just a way to capitalize on them, like taking your harness." I'm like, yeah, that is exactly what it is. They took our harness and put it in a Hollywood blockbuster movie.
It's a big movie.
Of course, we're going to capitalize on it. And so we told the line pretty well. And my cousin Thomas is my patent lawyer. He just like one of my cousins was just a little older than us, happened to be going to patent lawyer. And so I was like, "What do I do about this?" And he's like, "As long as you toe this line, you're fine." And so we towed it as close as we could, and like because they took the hardware, we had the receipt, and so at the end of the day, I think they were just kind of like, all right, they clearly used this to sell more of their products, but we clearly used their product in the video or the movie, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, no, I mean it's always a question of it being worth it or not. I've had a few run-ins that I unfortunately can't talk about, but
right, yeah, that's the joy of it.
Yeah, no, I mean I bet IP stuff is a pretty significant part of what you do here.
Yeah,
especially like making sure that you're not stepping over a line or.
Right.
The nice thing is the truth is a defense.
Yep. Right. Yeah. And especially when you have a receipt from Hollywood buying your hardware, I'm like, why don't you guys just buy the harness from me? Like we could have worked together. It's like, no, we're not paying you. We're not paying you a license fee.
No.
We'll just copy your design.
No.
But that's what I would do is like, and that's kind of obviously what we're emulating a little bit. And I think it turned out so freaking good. What's your employee's name? Lucas. Lucas didn't get me on the Thurman last.
It'll be available on the
Thurman. You have
Thurman
to chew his ass for me.
I will.
Because I'm doing the unboxing. I was so hyped to start wearing these, but this toe box is just like a little too narrow for me.
It will be available.
So Lucas, you're in trouble, but dude, I was. Mad.
I told him to like get you everything you need.
I'm like,
man.
I'm not that big of a baby, but like, give me that Thurman last, Lucas.
Yeah.
But
there's no reason why it shouldn't work. So. Famous last words.
We're just playing, Lucas.
Yeah.
I want to give you a little teaser. So these are not the official final products. These are still the prototypes, but I gotta show you guys what's releasing. So these are the samples. This is not the official blood core, but I wanted to show you what's coming out. Look at the blood core micro adjust belt. That is so sick. These will be available when we launch the blood core. So the blood core launches on the 29th, Alien blood core launches on the 29th. You're also gonna see a bunch of the wallets come through in Alien blood core. All of the boot accessories with the kilties. Little Swayze wallet, my personal wallet I carry every day. I love the Swayze wallet. But we only order in batches. So if you want some really cool Alien blood core products, be ready. Get on the limited edition email list below. But these turn out so sick. And when we were talking about doing this, like, because we launched the regular blood core last year, and then me and you were talking, it's like, what do we do in 2026? Like, we've done 5 years of the Indie series. Like, you know, that's pretty much puts a capstone in the series. And how do we get something that's popped, something that's interesting? Because if we come back with just like, hey, here's like a Builder Pro in this color, people are like, oh, we were expecting something big, loud, exciting.
Yeah, so this is our new tanker. So, you know, I'd say there's not a ton of people out there making tankers, so that's kind of nice.
Especially at this quality.
Yep. And so we took, obviously, we love the Sierra Soul here, but it's kind of like a new and improved version. So we've got the relief cut here. You know, one of the criticisms of a tanker is that like this part can kind of flare open a little bit.
Oh, interesting.
We did improve the pattern on this so this is really like 3.0.
Cool.
And so that should happen less. We moved the strap down a little bit. But I think also with this relief cut, you know, it's going to bend a lot more easily if you're kneeling and that sort of thing. I think, you know, a lot of people do work in these and they like the fact that they can just pop them off, you know, and they're going inside or something like that. And then, you know, it's got the classic squared off counter there.
I love that. That's like my favorite. Like any of your tactical stuff with those hard lines, I love.
And then one thing I think is really cool is from the HD, we've got the padded collar. So it looks
padded collar.
Padded tongue. Thank you. The padded tongue there.
Yeah.
So it looks more uniform. You know, you don't have like the black or brown gusset peeking out as much. It does. You know, you do still have a little gap here for flexibility. But you know, it just looks really cool.
And it makes a ton of sense for a tanker, especially to have an integrated tongue. Like that's what I was like, okay, if you have a tanker, why don't you put a kiltie in? It's like, nowhere to put your to lace your kiltie in. So it's actually, you didn't design it for this model, but this ended up being like the perfect way to improve a tanker boot that I never would have thought about. And it's like it works with the Builder Pro HD, but it works almost even better.
I would say it's a better. I mean, I think it's a great use case with the HD, the Builder Pro, but this is even better, right? Just because of, like you said, there's no laces. So like, I do think I like the way that the way that it forces you to kind of, you don't do a Z-fold.
Right.
You just kind of tuck these back in. It's almost a little bit faster, you know. If somebody who's new to PNW boots sometimes can get a little thrown off by the full gusset. So, you know, this just kind of like makes it a little more simple and, you know, easier to understand for people, especially if they're kind of, you know, maybe this is their first time trying something like this out.
The thing I like about it is kind of what you hit on too, where you've got, for the type of guys like the plumbers and people that are in and out of houses, but they need like a heavy duty boot. You got Chelsea boots, you got like pull-on boots, you've got like engineer style boots. But the flaw of all those kind of boots is always like, okay, if it's easy on and off, that means it's going to be really, it's either going to be not supportive or it's going to take me a long time to lace it up and get it tight. And so with a tanker boot, that's what, when you said that, I was like, oh, that's actually interesting. I didn't even think about like how useful it'd be for work, because if you need a boot that has support, and you need more support than a Chelsea, you need more support than like a pull-on boot, but you still need that easy on and off, this is like the perfect use case for it, because at least in the modern world, obviously designed for tanks, but like this allows you to adjust it to some degree, and anytime you want, you can cinch it down for ultimate support, or you can keep it super loose and you can slide in and out. You can keep it right in between where you have some support, but when you take it off, you need to unbuckle it. Like it's a really, like, if it hadn't been designed for tanks initially, I think people have been like, oh, this is just a new and improved version of doing a boot that's easy on and off.
Yeah, and it looks cool if you're into, you know, if you're into like strappy, you know, I mean, like I had interestingly, I'm talking to a guy from, he's a reporter for National Geographic. And so he's doing a story on the Appalachians, and he's gonna have to camp. I think he's, you know, doing the trail or something like that. So he's going to be camping, but he's also going to be doing stories inside people's houses, you know, kind of the culture there and everything like that. And he's like, I would love a tanker because I can just take it off when I'm going into these people's houses because it's going to get muddy, you know. So, you know, in and out, I think this is a really great option. And, you know, like you said, you get a little more support, you get a little more of a tighter fit than you do with like a traditional pull-on.
Yeah.
It's a nice compromise.
And the thing that's cool too is like, anytime you're coming up with concepts and ideas, like we were talking about, like how do we make this pop? Like what do we do? What's our next drop? Like we don't want to do anything that's just like too flat. My concern with this is like, oh, if it's like you got this big pop of red, is it gonna be too like over the top and too ridiculous where I wouldn't wear it? And when I got these in hand, I was like, dang, these are so sick. And like keep in mind, like it's my hype, and so I'm like, I'm biased. But my brother's like a really big critic of like if anything's too goofy. So he's kind of my litmus test of like, all right, does this pass or does this not? Like where are we at?
Yeah.
And before I even said anything to him, he's like, oh my gosh, what are these? And I'm like, those are tanker boots. He's like, what's a tanker boot?
It's cool, like, especially with the 360, right? Like you get the color edge there on the back, it goes all the way around. You can see the skiving in there.
He was hyped about him because he didn't even consider it. Like he's like, is this he didn't like initially be like, oh, is this a military boot? Because he didn't see this one. He didn't see like the coyote color.
Yeah.
He was like, what is this?
Yeah, and this is waterproof too, for what it's worth. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, it's the weather shield. But yeah, man, like when you came up with the blood core, you know, like I was like, okay, like that's interesting. Everybody loves it at the shop, you know? Like, no, I mean, the cutters love it.
Cool.
Like, Ivan, this is for you, buddy. He loves it.
Shout out, Ivan.
We just got the ND1 blood core leather in. Unfortunately, we're dealing with a little slip sole issue that we've communicated. But once those are done, those are going through. But it's just like, I don't know, it's a great idea, man. It looks really good. And it's a great way to highlight maybe the detail that goes into some of these boots, you know what I mean? Especially with the edging that kind of pops out. And you can be like, oh, man, there's a lot of make in this thing.
Yeah. And it's still like pretty like subtle at the end of the day. Like it's bright for like the edge of a leather, but when you actually like, compare it to other boots in its final form, you're like, okay, that's still doable. Like that's still something that I would wear. It's something that's like, because it's so dark and it's such a heavy top coat, like it stays that dark tone. I love it. Like I had the same reservations about like the Alien Core. I was like, is it gonna be like too goofy? Like, because I was, you know, like, the way we do things, I'm like, if we're gonna do something, we're gonna do it all the way. Yeah. We're not gonna do like forest green. We're gonna do like blood from the thing color, you know. And yeah, I'm super happy with it, and I love the Latigo base. But what about like the downsides of it? Like we're hyping this thing up because both of you like designed this with your team. I'm hyped about it because it's sick as hell. But like, what are the downsides of tanker boots that people need to know about so that we don't seem like we're completely shilling out our own products?
Well, you know, I mean, nothing's ever as tight as a lace-up.
Right.
You know? So if you just like want that cranked in there and super cinched up, I'd say, you know, like a lace-up boot is going to give you a little more flexibility there. And, you know, that's probably the biggest downside of any sort of pull-on style type of boot. But like, I don't know. What do you think?
I think some people aren't gonna like the straps,
The style, like
Yeah.
just the aesthetically.
Right.
That's totally fair. Yeah,
or
absolutely.
even functionally, just anything about it. I think they're so good. I'm so hyped about them. But
we sell a good amount of these, and I feel like they've kind of grown on people as they've, especially like we've gotten better at this pattern. You know what I mean? Like we've improved.
Yeah.
It. Now this is the second time. So, but yeah, no, that's fair. You know, not everybody wants to feel like they've got an apocalypse boot on. You know, whatever.
I love this side though. I almost wish that you could do the buckles on the inside. I guess they'd be clacking against each other, but I just like this to me is like screams like cool utility, where it's just like box stitched.
Yep.
Like, it's just so. I think it looks so good.
You could, maybe do some contrast stitching there down the line.
Is the counter bigger on the HD?
Yeah.
Is it HD make it, or what is the?
So this is kind of, we're calling it Trooper 3.0.
Okay.
So it's basically got most of the HD features. It's not the full offset with the counter, although it is a little bit longer.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like it's a longer counter.
Yeah, so you will kind of hopefully minimize some of the the pressure here under cuboid bone.
Is that just for this pattern, or is that you've changed that on all your tactical stuff?
That is just for this pattern.
Oh, cool.
So like the HD came out, a decent amount ago, like last year, I think, maybe
I think a
longer
couple
than
years
that.
ago.
Yeah. But like we're taking some of the features from it and just kind of expanding that
Yeah.
out. And I think that's the cool thing about when you come up with something new, you don't have to like do it in every way, but
Right.
you can find some of the features that work the best for certain models.
Well, it's cool too to evolve something that's so old school, like this style of boot making. It's like there's other brands that do similar boots. How do we, after 100 years of these kind of boots being made on U.S. soil, how do we innovate? How do we push the limit? Like what hasn't been done? How do we make this better? And that's what I like about what you guys do is like you guys are always trying new stuff. Like you've got the barefoot, like
Yep.
Munson style Thurman last.
Yep.
You've got the high arch Thurman last.
Yep.
You've got what was the other innovation I was thinking about the other day? Oh, the Flex, the one we were just talking about.
The FlexWork. Yep.
Yeah.
FlexWork Pro. Yeah. I mean, another example, right? We just took like some of the benefits of the HD and put it on a 360. Honestly, not that different than this, but just a really flexible boot that, especially if you're like looking for maybe something a little more chill, like a
Right.
unit honey lug, nice and comfy. That's a great option.
And I've never had that boot in hand, but to me, at least from what I assumed, it was kind of bridging the gap between your like really heavy duty boots with all the arch support and super rigid,
Yep.
but not quite as pared down as like a pair of like Red Wings or like more affordable boots. It's more flexible like those affordable boots, but you still have all the value of the top tier Knicks
Yep.
boots.
So get the midsole and all that stuff, and it, it'll definitely feel more substantial.
Cool.
But yeah, I think you'll see some of that stuff from us this year. We'll try and, like you were there, like we were going at such a fast pace those first couple years, it's like, all right, now it's maybe we can look back and be like, okay, how do we make this better? And I think that's an example of this.
Yeah. Well, 2020 was just such a crazy year for all industries where everyone had this huge boom because everyone was stuck at home, didn't have anything to do, and so people were watching TV, watching like reviews on YouTube, finding these little subcultures and new hobbies. How have you guys adjusted to that? Because I feel like now that 2020 is 5 years ago, that big boom has crunched a little bit.
Oh yeah.
How do you guys how have you adjusted to that?
It's a good question. I think so. Yeah, YouTube's changed, right? I always look at it. It's like pre-TikTok, post-TikTok.
That's true.
So once TikTok came in, everyone's like, okay, I guess we got to do shorts. And like, I've actually done some of the numbers, and like, it's something like 16 to 17x like less effective in terms of what's a long form view worth in terms of driving traffic versus a short form view.
I fully believe that.
And so, you can get a lot of short form views, but they don't always translate into traffic or sales and that sort of thing. I still think it's important from a branding standpoint. But I think we're kind of looking at other ways to engage with people. We were talking, man. I'm saying if you want a chance to get roasted every 30 days, you got to get a Reddit page.
I'm good.
Absolutely.
I'll leave that game up to you. I'm good on Reddit.
But some of those things, I think you've talked about like wanting to build a community and that sort of thing, and like I think that's part of it. It's like you got to find other ways.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like.
I mean, how about you? How are you handling that?
I think you hit it on the head. Is like we're trying to figure out like, okay, what's the next step for us? Like we've done all this, kind of like we were just talking about. Like we've done all this information gathering. Mm-hmm. We've done all of this curating of all the information and building these spectrums of like this should be worth this. How does this compare? And now it's more of like how do we make content that is like maybe more engaging on a like less technical perspective and more just on like the whole boot culture as a whole, the footwear industry on the whole, and trying to build some sort of community, because we're at the point now where it's like, okay, now I really do want people's feedback. What should we review next? Like what's up and coming? And so we actually might, it's not gonna be Reddit for sure. Actually, who knows? It might end up being Reddit. But more than likely it won't be Reddit. But we're gonna try to build some sort of like community that I can start engaging with people. And so that's the cool thing about this industry is like this industry is as old as humanity is. Like the boot making, the shoe making, and for the last 2,000 years of recorded history, people have always been trying to innovate with footwear. They've been trying to find a new way to do it, to find a new way to like approach this concept. So now that we're in 2025 with all the technology and stuff, that's what I think is so cool about your brand and all these heritage brands is like you're still doing it the old school way, but at the same time you have to innovate because we're in a modern era where you can't just be like, oh, we're like, because I'm sure for decades, Knicks and all these other companies, you just write off your name in local community, people that bought you for 10 years, their dad bought boots from you, and now it's like every 6 months it's a new trend.
Yep.
And if you can't keep up with the trends, or if you're the type of company that's like, we can't even like turn over product in that amount of time.
Dude, it goes so fast these days. It is crazy.
It's nuts.
It's nuts, yeah. No, I just had an idea for the next one.
Okay.
We'll talk about that.
All right, off
camera.
camera idea. It's my favorite kind of idea.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's a fast-paced world we live in. I mean, I just want to say, like, I know in a lot of ways we kind of started professionally in the boot business around the same time.
For sure, yeah, 100%.
And you've always been a great partner for us, but it's been really cool to see like the growth of your business. Like if you go back there's like tons of super smart people just cranking it out.
Dude, I got the best crew of all time.
Yeah, and obviously great machinery. But yeah, I mean, it's been really impressive to see what's come of this.
Well, you've been a big help. Like all the you're the first collaborator we worked with, and that was like 6 years ago, really when I started the business. And so yeah, it's been cool to see your business and my business kind of like going side by side and growing, and just even just within the last 5 years, how much the boot industry has changed and how much the footwear industry has changed. And yeah, it's a wild game, this whole footwear world. You look at it and you're like, oh, it's old school footwear. You don't realize like how intense it is. And especially, I feel like something that I've noticed since 2020 is everyone and their dog has a footwear company now. That's part of like this year. I'm like, we could do 1,000 cap toe boot videos and still not cover them all. Like, how do we condense this information now? There's 1.5 billion brands.
Dude, I know. Like, well, I don't know. I think the value you're going to add is that you can't cover everybody, but you can cover everybody who matters, right?
Right.
And so you have that lens, and you can be like, all right, well, sure. Like maybe you can go on Alibaba, or you can go on some of these places and find something, and maybe it's great. But we're going to go tried and true, and some of the people that we know and have experience with, and we've gotten hands on, and we've cut them in half, and we know what these guys are doing. And I think that's like a major value you can add to the customer.
And I think that's where we're going to see some value, or like what we're going to try to change this year, because when there's initially we were like, okay, this is what's inside this boot. Now what's inside that boot? Which one's better for the price? Mm-hmm. Now so many factories and so many brands are like, okay, this is how we should be making boots. Okay, all these boots are basically built the same.
Dude, so like this little secret I have is like when we were doing like 10, 20 plus million views on some of these how it's made videos.
Oh yeah.
Like 30% of the views are coming from like Pakistan. Or like 20% are coming from India.
I believe it.
Like 20, yeah. And I was like,
are we just training competition right now?
A little bit. I think so. But like, no, I was at boot camp, and I think it was the Blackbird guy.
Okay.
And he came up to me, and he's like, "You're the reason I got into making boots." And I'm like, cool.
Like, you're welcome.
Super nice guy, we're not making nuclear weapons here. So, do your thing. But like, I was like, okay, well, maybe this will backfire someday.
Right. Well, that's kind of the point too. It's like this year, like when everyone starts making everything the same, and there's a certain like measuring stick that everyone's using to make their products, what's the differentiating factor? And that's where I want to get like the history, who the brand is, where they're from, what's the lineage of them, and
the customer experience, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You got to think about that, and like, will the owner like respond to a DM from you on Reddit at like 11 p.m. on a Friday?
Right.
I don't know. Does that matter?
I won't. I would not.
But some, there's different ways to differentiate that there. But like, yeah, I'd be interested to get your thoughts, like, longer term on like how you might incorporate some of that stuff. That's a little tougher to measure,
Dude, and honestly, like just in general, like every time we hang out or we're chatting, like I'm always like, dang, I wish like we could talk about this on camera. So we should look at just doing like an industry, like once a quarter,
I've
just
thought
like
about
an
that.
industry catch up. Because you see a side of the industry I don't,
Yeah.
and I see a side of the industry you don't.
Exactly. And no, I think that'd be really interesting, especially for people who are into business or like, we can talk about small business growth and like the challenges, and also like maybe a little gossip, and like bring the people in.
Well, even like I feel that the same way, where I'm always like, dang, I've learned so much from starting this business 10 years ago in my bedroom to today. Like I've learned 100 times more than I ever did in college.
Yeah.
And I get to the point where like I feel like, oh, like my business is doing well. Like I feel like a lot of my dreams are coming true. Like I want to give back to people. And like one of those things is like I wish I could just like give some of this business info. I'm like, okay, let me just teach you everything that I learned, that you can just absorb this information and you don't have to do it the hard way like I did. And I'm like, but at the same time, it's like, once again, do you want to train your competition? Do you want to like lift that skirt up so much that people are like trying to find holes in your game? And so I think that would be cool though. Like if it's you and I going back and forth, and it's from it's a perspective of like where we're at in the industry and talking business, I think that could be done.
Yeah, and I think like it'd be interesting to talk about maybe some of the challenges we're facing right now that maybe somebody just starting out would need some time to get to.
Yeah.
But then also I think some of them maybe just general like business problems that you're dealing with, like not necessarily related specifically to footwear, but like freaking cash flow, you know, or like I feel like this last year and this year is kind of the first time I'm really fully understanding our business, well, because it's just like a lot of moving parts, right? It's like you've got your backlog versus your throughput, like you've got to marry those up. You've got, because we have a backlog, you get cancellations every month, so that's a drain on cash flow. So you actually have to sell more than what you're making, because like you've got to at least stay even, right? So I mean, that's just like a lot of stuff like that. It's kind of interesting.
And it is interesting too, because it's like it is to me like some days it's the worst, right? You're like, I don't want to run a freaking business right now. But other times it is really interesting because it's this weird strategy that is high stakes in a way where you're like, it is the real world, but also it's business at the end of the day, and it's this fun, like, okay, I've got so many tokens to play with. Where do I put these tokens? And I think there's a lot more people out there that would appreciate those conversations, because there's not that many people that are willing to talk about it in that zone between, hey, I've started a business and I'm selling my business, like
exactly.
in like the heat of it.
And you never get these real specifics, right? Like if you like listen like how I built this or something like that, it's like, okay, now I'm like a $400 million company, and then you're like, okay, and yes, I had a few. Here were like two of my like most interesting, flame outs along the way. But I mean, like just hiring, labor law, I mean, no, just all these little things that kind of creep up on you, and like it's really hard to understand if you don't have experience, especially if you don't get some exposure to the people who are dealing with that.
Yeah. So let us know if you want to see that. It'd be fun to do. We could do that like literally once a quarter and just like do an update.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. Yeah, absolutely.
So check out the new Tactical Tanker Pro HDs, upgraded pattern with the flex here, with the padded tongue, with the new and improved pattern. And I love these dark buckles.
Yep.
Those turned out so
good. We did the gunmetal with you guys and kind of the blackout version. But this boot, will be on sale at the end of the month. Check it out, sign up for the be the first to know, because I do think these will go decently fast. Yeah, get on the email list below, because that's where you'll get early access. That's where you'll get all the information leading up to the sale, the sizing guide. And that's actually a good question. Are these size similar or the same as all the rest of your boots because they're tankers? Yeah. That's what my experience was. Except for Lucas, you didn't see me in my Munson last. He's in trouble. Next time I see Lucas. Yeah, absolutely.
Even though he's bigger and stronger than me.
He's
going to get it hurting.
He's a pretty big guy.
No, he's huge. I was kidding, Lucas. Don't beat me up. I'm scared of you. I got one big.
He'll write a scathing Reddit review.
Yes. I'll find Lucas. I'll be like, who's this random Redditor that just popped up and is just talking shit about Lucas nonstop? I don't know.
But we hope you guys buy this. It's a great boot. Weston, thanks for the opportunity to work with this cool 11.
Thank you.
It's beautiful, and I think this is going to do great.
Okay, let's do it. Thank you, guys.
See ya.
Oh, that was perfect. That was perfect timing.
Nice.